Hello everyone. Environment SYBSC students. Unit number 3, topic number 3 from unit number 7, that is disaster management. Here, see the first one, introduction. Disaster caused by nature's worry is not uncommon in this planet or the earth. In fact, scientists believe that the birth of this planet earth was the result of explosion that occur in the solar system. From the immemorial, this planet had witnessed numerous natural disasters. In the past, man used to view these natural disasters as the acts of God. Gradually, science opened and the doors of knowledge and enabled man to understand the mysterious occurrence of such a natural disaster. So here, in disaster is caused by nature's worry. So this is not uncommon in this planet or the Earth. So scientists believe that this birth of the Earth on this planet, this is also a result of explosion, and that explosion such a occur in a solar system, and so such a planet is a witnessed in numerous natural disasters. So these disasters are natural disasters as the acts of God. Gradually, science opened the doors of knowledge and enabled man to understand the mysterious occurrence of natural disaster. Then, definition. What is the definition of disaster? Disaster is a sudden or great misfortune whereby hospital and or community facilities are damaged and functions are impaired. So, disaster may caused by fire, weather, or climate. Okay, so disaster is a sudden or great misfortunate whereby the hospital or community facilities are damaged and functions are completely impaired. So this disaster it is caused by it is either maybe from fire, weather, or climate. For example, we all are very well known about such a disasters like earthquake, hurricanes, tornado, explosion, terrorist activity, radiations, or chemical spills and the epidemics. So disaster also can be result of human error. Okay, the disaster is also occur or this is also can be result from the human error, which includes motor vehicles crashes, plane crashes, collapsed buildings, or a similar occurrence. So disaster affect both the young and old. So here we see the definition of disaster. The next one, disaster alphabetically means. Here simply the disaster is explained by alphabetically, meaning that is D for destruction, I for incidents, S for suffering, A for administrative failure, S for sentiments, T for tragedies, E for eruptions of communicable diseases, and R for research program and its implementation. Okay, these are some alphabetically meanings of the disaster. The next one, that is types of disaster. The disaster are classified in the following types. First one, that is natural disaster. These disasters are occurs naturally. For example, natural calamities or climatic hazards like earthquake, flood, cyclone, drought, famine, forest fire, dust storms, sand storms, landslides, okay, and volcanic eruptions. These are the natural disaster. Then second type, that is man-made disaster. Man-made disaster, it includes the technical disasters like dam failure, nuclear accidents, hazardous waste accidents, oil spills and leakage, industrial accidents and due to fire, social disaster like mass migration, riots, etc. Minor disasters involving approximately 25 victims and moderate disaster involving approximately 100 victims. Okay. Then major disaster involve more than 100 victims. So catastrophic disaster when the number of injured patients reaches up to 1,000 or more than 1,000. So these are the some parameters of this disaster: minor, moderate or major, means how many number of victims are involved in such a types of disaster. So these are the two types of disaster: natural disaster and man-made disaster. Then next one, that is classification of disaster. There are number of disasters, but according to your syllabus, in your syllabus there is only four types of disasters. Then first one, that is earthquake, cyclones, floods, landslides. See the first one, that is earthquake. An earthquake, also known as quake, tremor or tremor, is the result of sudden release of energy in Earth's crust that creates seismic waves. So earthquakes are recorded with the seismometer, also known as seismograph. The moment, magnitude, or the related and mostly imperceptible and magnitude 7 causing serious damage over large areas. Intensity of shaking is measured on the modified Mercalli scale. Okay, we all are very well known about the earthquake, how it occurs. Okay, so earthquake is a tremor quake. It is the result of how it occurs. It is the result of sudden release of energy in the earth crust, and when during the time of it release a energy that creates a seismic waves, and we already known that the seismic waves are recorded in a seismometer, or it is also called as a seismograph. So this is a first disaster. See here in this diagram, that is earthquake features block diagram. See, this is mantle, crust area, earthquake energy moves radially. See this circle-like structure or diagram, and this later on after that they produce a such a waves. This red color shows a waves epicenter primary. Waves travel fastest and causes up-down movement. Okay. Later on, this S wave arrives second and move ground from side to side, and the fault line movement occurs along here. Okay, the next one, that is management. So most injuries are sustained during impact, and thus there is the greatest need for emergency care occurring in few hours. When quality and severity of injuries is overhaul, wealth facilities at different levels must be adopted. Okay, after such a disaster occurs, there are some management also required. So in this first disaster, that is earthquake, after earthquake there is some management, like most injured or the injuries are sustained during impact, there is greatest need for emergency, they occur in few hours. When the quality and severity of injuries is overhaul, then wealth facilities different levels must be also adopted. Then what the precautions? So see the first one, that is precaution before entering a buildings. Okay, this is first precaution. Observe the construction of buildings and be careful for possible hazards which may occur from weak structure. Okay, this is first precaution. Means before entering a building or building a houses, observe that there is a construction. Okay, the construction of the buildings, and be careful for possible hazards which may occur from the weak structure. Then second precaution, that is when entering a damaged buildings, use a helmet. Okay, work in pairs, listen for the possible sounds and keep calling. Okay, these are the some precautions. Then second disaster, that is cyclone. Cyclone is an area of close circular fluid motion, rotation in the same direction as the earth. Okay? Cyclone is an area of closed circular fluid motion, rotation in the same direction as the earth. This is usually characterized by inward spiraling wind actually spiraling, okay, and that rotate counter clockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere of the earth. Most large scale cyclonic circulations are centered on the areas of low atmospheric pressure, and the largest pressure systems are cold core polar cyclones and extratropical cyclones, which lie on the synoptic scale. Then warm core cyclones such as tropical cyclones, mesocyclones and polar lows lie within the smaller mesoscale. And the subtropical cyclones are of intermediate size. Upper level cyclones can exist without the presence of low surface and can pinch off from the base of the tropical upper tropospheric through during the summer months in the northern hemisphere. Cyclones have also been seen on other planets outside of the Earth, such as Mars and Neptune also. So see this diagram. Cyclone is a powerful spinning, okay, storm that contains the strong winds and rain. Then management for cyclones. Warning should be given through proper media. Okay, this is the best management and the first management, that is warning should be given through proper media. Research should be sent to safe areas. Proper treatment must be done on the injuries. Then next disaster, that is floods. Water is a form of all life forms. Without water, no life is sustainable. But when water is in the form of floods, it takes away thousands of human and cattle life. Okay, we all are very well known about water is a life of water is life. Without water, we can't live. But this water, it is in the form of flood. Okay, then it takes away thousands of human and cattle life. Bangladesh is a riverine country where recurrent flooding is both common and necessary. Okay, this is the best example. From the Bangladesh is a riverine country, so where recurrent flooding is both common and necessary. Every year, large areas are submitted during the monsoon season and fertilized by deposit of fresh aluminium. The soil is deposited by moving water. However, if water remains stagnant for too long, and these beneficial floods become a major disaster. So most vulnerable things which are affected due to floods are homes, buildings and huts made from biomass material like bamboo and leaves. See, this is one of the picture of flood. Then management. How to manage such a disaster like floods? In flood, fractures, injuries, bruises, drowning, and various infections can occur. Tin cans, barrels, tube, etc. must be used for floating to prevent people from drowning. Okay, these are some simple management. Food, shelter, and medical care facilities are provided to the people from drowning. The next disaster, that is landslides. This includes wide range of ground movements such as risk falls, deep failure of slopes and shallow debris flows, which can occur in offshores, coastal and onshore environment. The main causes are groundwater pressure acting to destabilize the slope, loss or absence of vertical vegetative structure, soil nutrients and erosion of toe of a slope by river or ocean waves. So this landslide includes wide range of ground movements such as risk falls, deep failure of slopes, shallow debris flow, okay, and they occur in the offshores, coastal and onshore environment. Here is one of the picture of such a landslides. Okay, landslides. Then how to manage such a disaster like landslides? Avoid landslide prone area. Okay, rescue team should be sent to clear the roads. Okay, after the disaster, rescue team should be sent to clear the roads, protect trapped people. Okay, these are some management. Okay, this is all about the disaster management from your syllabus. There is four types of disaster. For example, earthquake, cyclone, landslides, and floods. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks to all of you.